Hello everyone, it's Phil here from One-to-One IELTS. And in today's lesson, we're going to be looking how to write introductions for double question essays. Double question essays tend to vary a little bit in structure, but the one we're looking at today is a very typical structure that comes up a lot in your Writing Task 2 exams. In today's lesson, we're going to have a look at two very common mistakes that students make, and these unfortunately come about because they've been informed how to write essays in the wrong manner by various YouTube experts. So today I'm going to show you how to actually write an introduction and make sure that you don't make these common mistakes. We're going to have a look at some paraphrasing using a very common technique to help us paraphrase the question statement. And then we'll have a look at how to write really concise, accurate outline statements. All introductions are made up of these two parts: the paraphrase, the outline statement. You'll notice we do not include background information. A student asked me the other day, they said, why do you encourage people not to write background statements? And other very famous YouTubers tell you to write background information. So I'm going to give you two reasons for this. One, the reason that I think other YouTubers encourage you to use background statements, because they're not IELTS teachers, they're English teachers. And at times in an introduction, background information is wonderful. If I was teaching my students at my university, I would tell them to write background statements, because you are writing much longer essays, but this is a 250-word IELTS essay. And we only want to write in an IELTS essay what we get graded for. Your task response is mainly graded on how well you develop your ideas. Does writing a background statement develop any of your ideas in your essay? No. Background statements do not develop ideas. Yeah, they set tone. They are certainly a skill in writing, but you're not getting marked on it. No one is marking you on writing a background statement. So if you don't get any marks for something, should you do it? No, it's a waste of your time. You want to be using the precious time that you have in your writing exam to the best of your ability. And if you're getting graded on developing your ideas, you want to put all your time into planning and developing your ideas rather than writing sentences that you don't need. And this is why I tell everyone, do not write background statements in your introductions, because all you're doing is wasting your time, and we don't want to waste our time. We want to use our time as efficiently as possible. The question we're looking at today is family members eat fewer meals together. Why is this? Is this a positive or negative trend? What type of question is this? Double question. So we've got two parts. And then we want to think, what type of question is each part? Because when you have a double question, you're basically being given a type of question from the other types of questions that are available in IELTS. You're never likely to get a discussion essay for one part, but you are likely to get opinions. They might ask you about advantages or disadvantages. They might ask you about causes and solutions. So this very first question, why is this? What type of question is this? Is asking a reason. So if you see why, this is from a cause essay. Family members eat fewer meals together. Why do they do it? So we're looking for a cause of family members eating fewer meals together. How many causes do we want? Does it ask you for more than one? No, there's nothing here that asks for multiple causes. If you got this question instead, it will be asking for multiple causes, because you can see here this word reasons is plural. So if it specifically asks you for something that's plural, you give more than one. Now, the next part is a very, very common second question in a double question. Is this a positive or negative trend? What type of question is this? Now, this one is an opinion. When we answer this question, you are going to state, I think it is a positive, or I think it is a negative trend, because And then we're going to give a reason for this. If you ever see these questions, and they come up all the time, so double questions are very common in the IELTS exam. And for the second part of these double questions, you're very often going to get this. So you can remember, if you ever see this, it is an opinion question. You need to give your opinion. What needs to go with the opinion? Reason. You always need to give your reason with your opinion. So the way I like to remember this is, don't give naked opinions. Opinions should come with a reason. How many reasons do I have to give? One. There's nothing in here in this question asking you to give more than one. So we're giving our opinion plus one reason. We generated some ideas for this actually in the last class. So we're going to use these ideas. The cause paragraph we looked at, we said one reason, one cause of family members eating fewer meals together is they're working long hours. And then we were asked, is it a positive or negative trend? So our opinion was it's negative. It's completely up to you. You can choose negative or positive. We said it's negative. The reason we gave were it makes family bonds weaker. So these were the ideas that we generated for this. Let's quickly review the structure. Let's look at the introduction first. Our introduction, we mentioned this today already. We have our paraphrase and outline, and then we get on to the first main body paragraph. So main body paragraph 1 is this cause. We're going to give one cause. What is the structure for a one cause paragraph? It's actually a very simple structure. It's going to look like this. We have a topic sentence. This introduces the cause. We've got the explanation. Anytime you write a topic sentence, there has to be an explanation. Don't try and combine the two into one sentence. These need to be separate. We're going to write 2 sentences of explanation. Can anyone in the chat tell me why we're writing 2 sentences? Mary says, to fully develop. Yeah. If we look at this structure, at the moment, we just got topic sentence, explanation, example. So there's a 3-part structure. This is as simple as it gets. You only have this structure for singular causes, singular solutions, and opinion essays. When we don't have extra things like opinion statements to add or multiple ideas, to make sure that we have fully developed our idea, to make sure we're writing a reasonable amount of words, we're going to do topic sentence, 2 explanation sentences, and an example. The main body paragraph 2 is the structure of an opinion paragraph. What should the structure of an opinion paragraph look like? Or basically our topic sentence. We're going to again explain in 2 sentences of explanation, and we're going to have an example. Our topic sentence needs to give our opinion and the reason. Don't make the common mistake of just writing your opinion. We need to give our opinion plus reason. So no naked opinions. We're going to give 2 sentences of explanation and an example. So you will see the structure here is very similar. Then we have our conclusion. What should the conclusion look like? We're going to summarize the cause. So we summarize this idea. We don't need to summarize the explanation. We don't need to summarize the example. We're just summarizing the cause. Then we go to the next body paragraph. We restate our opinion and we restate our reason. So once I've actually come up with this structure, I'm going to start my writing. What is the very first thing that we deal with? We look here, paraphrase. So our paraphrase needs to be exactly the same meaning as the question statement. And we try to change sentence structure first before we look for easy synonyms. Today, family members eat fewer meals together. So a nice short sentence. Is there anything in this sentence that we can maybe switch around and change sentence structure? Are there any expressions of time? So Mary said today, excellent, yeah. So we can maybe move today somewhere. So we could say family members eat fewer meals together today. Is there anywhere else you can put this today? So this is quite a nice trick when you get these one-word time expressions. My friend says after family members, exactly. So this is a really nice little trick you'll see. Family members today eat fewer meals together. Are there any other techniques we could maybe try here? Could we change this from active to passive? The first thing I would think about with very short sentences is changing from active voice to passive voice. Forget about the today for now. family members eat fewer meals together. Family members are your subject, eat is your verb, and fewer meals is your object. So when we make something active to passive, the passive voice means your object. So that's going to be your fewer meals comes at the beginning. We're going to use the verb to be and the past participle with the verb. And then we put family members at the end of a sentence. So can anyone in the chat give me an idea of how you would try and make this passive? Don't worry about the today part at the moment. Fewer meals eaten together by family members. So it's a good try. What do we do with the verb when we make it passive? So you've got the right verb tense here. You've made it the past participle, but we need something extra. We need this verb to be. So this is at the moment present simple. So we just use the verb to be in the present simple. Meals are plural. So fewer meals are eaten together by family members. Okay, well, this one, we've really changed the sentence structure. But remember, we removed today, and we can put today in the same places. We could put it in the first sentence. We could have it at the beginning. We could have it at the end, or we could have it here after fewer meals. There's three options of where we put this time expression. So fewer meals today are eaten together by family members. For me, I feel that considering how short a sentence this was, we've completely altered the sentence structure here, which is really good. So this passive voice trick with paraphrasing is very, very useful, especially if you have very simple sentences. So our next step, after we've changed all our sentence structure, we just start looking for easy synonyms. Is there an easy synonym for fewer? So Mary was mentioning less. When do we use fewer and when do we use less? Don't make this common mistake. Fewer here is actually correct. Fewer we use with countable nouns. Less we use with uncountable. So because meals are countable, we can't actually change fewer to less. What type of word do we use much with? Do we use it with countable or uncountable nouns? Uncountable, but meals, 1 meal, 2 meals, that's countable. So it's a really good idea, but we can't use much. What word should we use instead of much? Many, excellent. So that would be an alternative. So not as many meals today are eaten together. Okay, so we found a synonym. I would have said, if you couldn't find a synonym, use fewer. Can you think of a synonym that has the same meaning as meals? Mary says, keep it the same. I would agree. I can't think of a synonym for meals. Today. Now, this is a word that definitely has some really easy synonyms. What could we use instead of today? Nowadays, these days, but both of these would work. So you're often going to see this expression today, and you can remember this. It comes up all the time. So nowadays, these days, absolutely fine. We only need one, so let's go with nowadays. Not as many meals nowadays are eaten. What do we think about eat? Is there an easy synonym? It's already been changed. Remember in the original it said, today family members eat. Well, we've actually changed the grammar here, are eaten. So we simply don't need to. Together. I would say together is together. So I just wouldn't change it. By we need for the passive voice. So this isn't going to get changed. Family members. Now I know something I could do instead of family members, I could just put families. If you didn't think of that one, then keep the original. It was sufficient. Now we go back to the start and check that everything makes sense. Not as many meals nowadays are eaten together by families. Okay, this has exactly the same meaning. The sentence structure has been changed incredibly considering how small a sentence it was. And here we have an excellent paraphrase. So after our paraphrasing, we go on to our outline statement. Now, our outline statement is where you outline the main ideas that you're going to talk about in your essay. This is how I want you to think of outline statements. They are an index for your essay. So an index tells you what is coming after the index. I have seen very famous, popular YouTubers tell their students to just write what you're doing. So I'm sorry to these YouTubers, they have no idea what they are talking about. And this is a big problem. You need to outline your ideas. It's called an outline statement for a reason. What I've just said to the examiner is, I'm going to answer the question. The examiner knows you're going to answer the question. You're sitting the exam. It's very obvious to the examiner that you should be answering the question. Imagine if the first line of your essay, today I'm going to answer the question. If you wrote that in your essay, do you think that's a good sentence? No, it's a terrible sentence to start your essay with. Today I'm going to answer this question. It's ridiculous. Of course you're going to answer the question. You're sitting in an exam. So we need to outline our ideas. It is important for your coherence and cohesion score to have a clear outline statement. So the first thing we need to talk about is part one of the question. So part one was a cause. How can we outline this idea? Remember, we're talking about family members eat fewer meals together. So just this part to start with. We'll look at the second part in a second. Maitreya says the main reason for this is what? And what I would like you to get into the habit of here is trying to write your ideas in clauses, not in noun phrases. Mary said the main reason for this is that parents work 4 long hours. Excellent. This preposition here, I don't actually need. It would be a little bit more natural to say the main reason for this is that parents work long hours. The main reason for this is both parents are working for longer hours. Again, this works really well. And I would just say it's a little bit more natural to omit this preposition. If you kept the preposition in, I would not actually call it a mistake, a bit more of a natural collocation. Okay, so this, for me, is outlining our first idea. It's very, very clear, and we're using a clause. So for anyone who's not sure what a clause is, we've got subject, verb, object. Subject, verb, object. That's part one of our outline done. Part two of our outline, we need to have a look at the second idea that we're going to outline. So this one was our opinion, and our opinion is negative trend, weaker family bond. So again, we want to be writing in clauses. So whenever you give your opinion, it's one of the few times you can actually use the pronoun I. I think, I believe this is a negative trend. Maybe the question says, do you think this is a negative or positive phenomena? Then you would just change the word here. So whatever it's asking you, is it positive or negative? You can write like this. I think this is a negative trend. Maybe it's asking you for a development. I think this is a negative development. That's also fine because we're giving clause, not noun phrases. We want clauses. How can we make this into a clause? So subject, verb, object. So Mary says, because this weakens family bonds, we have subject, verb, object. Perfect. So at the moment, we have one idea here, one simple sentence. One simple sentence. Is there a way that we could maybe make this a little bit more grammatically advanced, rather than having 2 simple sentences? How do we join simple sentences together? Yeah, we can make them into a compound sentence. So compound is basically just taking a simple sentence, taking another simple sentence, and sticking them together. Here, we've just got one idea. This is the first idea I'm going to talk about, adding a bit more information. So you simply do this, comma, and. Is there something else I could do instead of comma and a punctuation trick? Exactly. I could also do this. So this is another option. When you're joining simple sentences together, you can use a semicolon. Either are correct. So now we have a nice compound sentence. It's very clear. We're talking about a reason. Our opinion is incredibly clear. And the reason for our opinion is incredibly clear. So now we have a very accurate outline statement. It's simple. We're not trying to be overly clever here. And this is our introduction. Very simple. We've just got 2 sentences, and then we can move on to our main body paragraphs. And this is a Band 9 introduction. If you are going to grade one part of your essay on its own, and obviously examiners will grade the whole essay, but if I was just going to look at your introduction and say, could this be an introduction to a Band 9 essay? Yes, it could. And then we move on and we go on to developing our main body paragraphs by following the structure that we mentioned earlier. I hope you found today's lesson useful.
Don't forget to like the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss out on any further content. Good luck to you all in your studies, and I'll see you all in the next video.